Good morning, church. Today it's all about gardening. So how are your gardening skills? What on earth are you doing?
Well, I thought we'd agreed to change places. You're going to do the teaching and then I get to dress up.
But it's an ostrich and you're sitting on it.
I know. It's good, isn't it? I went to a lot of trouble for this.
But it's the parable of the sower we're doing. Look, there's no ostrich in the parable of the sower.
No. Look, see? Seed fell on the hard ground and the birds came and ate it up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. See what I did there?
But it's too big.
Oh, I don't think this is working. This wheat doesn't fit for a start off. You can have that. Should we just go back to the way we were?
Yeah.
Well, give me that bucket back then. Yeah. You take that and I'll crack on with this.
Ow, it bit me.
Very funny. Oh, can you try and find some smaller birds then that we can use?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah? Okay. Hi.
Trish.
Today...
Trish,
What?
you've forgotten something.
No. Camera's running. I think we're good to go. Today...
Trish,
What?
just look down.
Oh! I best go and get changed. Hello. Welcome to the parable of the sower, or as I like to call it, the parable of the gardener. Well, it turns out Jesus talked a lot about gardening in the New Testament. So, in this particular parable, he talked about 4 different examples of the sort of ground that a seed could fall on and how well it would grow. Well, here's the first example. Some seed fell on the pathway, but the birds came and ate it up. Well, that was never going to work because there was no soil. And you will know that in order for a seed to grow, it needs to land in good soil. And when Jesus is talking through this parable, the seed is referring to the Word of God. Well, that could be the Bible or us hearing about God. And the soil is about the state of our heart and how well our heart could nourish that seed. And in that first example, well, it reminds me of people who hear about God, but actually they just brush it off because they're really not interested. So here is the second example. Some seed fell on rocky ground and the plant grew up, but its roots were very shallow. And when the sun came up, it withered and died. Some people seem very excited about God at first, but their faith is quite shallow. They're not really committed, and they soon forget about God. In the third example, the seed falls on good soil, and actually it begins to grow. It all seems very hopeful, but it doesn't turn out too well. The seed began to grow, but there were so many brambles and nettles and thorns growing up, they just choked it. Some people have such busy lives. Their lives are full of the cares of this world, and there's so much going on that their faith dies because they just get distracted by everything else. Now, in the fourth and final example that Jesus gave, the seed falls on good soil, it puts down roots, there are no brambles and weeds to choke it, and therefore it grows into a beautiful flower. That flower represents someone who has nurtured their faith, who reads their Bible, spends time talking to God, who allows their faith to impact their daily life. You will know that if a flower grows, into a flower head, it produces seeds. And when those seeds fall to the ground, it produces more flowers. If I share my faith with someone else, then I might be planting that seed in their heart. And if their heart has got good soil, that seed will grow and produce a flower with more seeds which fall to the ground and produce, and so on. So what starts as one seed of faith planted in someone's heart can produce, well, a whole flower bed full of beautiful colours. It's a sort of picture of us as the church. I think the question that I want to pose to you today is, how is that seed growing in your heart? And if you have a soil problem here and you'd like a change of soil, well then just ask God. He'll do that for you. If you want to read a bit more about the parable of the sower, you'll find it in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark and Luke. In the meantime, happy gardening.